the one of the biggest issues that we had in this, if you remember our discussions, is we were not all that far apart on general fund and SIP appropriations combined. We were substantially apart, about 160 million apart on fund transfers. And so what I would tell you, and we'll get to the specifics in a minute, is ultimately we pretty much split the baby in a lot of respects on general fund. The transfers, though, what you'll see in what we've done is they agreed to, we had proposed, as we had in our budget, 1/3 of those transfers, about $160 million, go into the principal of our corpus of the Wyoming Permanent Mill Trust Fund, and 1/3 would go into the corpus of the Common School Permanent Land Fund. The House on the other side of that, Mr. President, was that they had 160 million going to various reserve accounts that would be available for expenditure appropriation. We've used those over the years for expenditure appropriation. We've used them to backstop or securitize loans. We've used them for a number of reasons. And ultimately, that's what their position was. The resolution that we had in all that is that, and the compromise that we propose to you is that of that $160 million, 1/2 of it will be deposited into the corpus of the Wyoming Permanent Mill Trust Fund, and 1/2 of it will be deposited into the corpus of the Common School Permanent Land Fund. One thing to keep in mind about that, a substantial portion of that was the 1% severance tax account. Of those severance taxes, approximately 1/3 of those have actually are severance taxes from Wyoming state leases or leases held on Wyoming state properties. Most of them, in the vast majority of those in the common school, held by the Common School Permanent Land Fund. And over the years, those have much of those, when they were deposited to the Permanent Mill Trust Fund corpus when they were deposited. And so ultimately, from our perspective, in both of those areas, there's a need for that funding in the future, and for us to deposit those into the corpus where they can earn interest moving forward, and income for both of those entities going forward seem to be us a very wise step for the state of Wyoming as a whole. Keep in mind that 160 million at a 4% return will equate to about 12, a little better than 12 million a biennium combined between those two, that will happen forever.